thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're very excited that today we have Katerina Zidackova. I cannot pronounce your name very well, but if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, I know you're an accountant and you studied Bachelor of Accounting in Kaplan Business School, graduated 2018. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm from Czech Republic and I arrived to Australia in 2016, and I started to study straight away Bachelor of Accounting. It was in July. So I started to work in hospitality, and I tried to find a way to administration.
Yeah.
And actually, due to hospitality work, I've met my boss.
Wow.
And that's how I got my job. I was really lucky. So we've been a bit chatting, and I was serving him, giving them food and beers. And I was like, yeah, what you doing? Where you from? I'm like, yeah, from Czech Republic, and I'm studying accounting. He was like, yeah, I'm looking for accountant. Are you looking for a job? Like, yeah, why not? And he gave me his business card, so I called him and we scheduled a meeting, and that's how it started.
That's so cool. So I know you started there as an intern, you say, and then you grow in the company. And what does your company does?
So we are selling specialized manufacturing products. So we're building robots and selling robots. Yeah, so plasma cutting, laser cutting, pick and place, and all of that.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very excited. Okay, so I know that that you shared before with us that you have been able to keep this job for I think over three years now, and that you have actually become essential in your job, at your role. And these days, as the unemployment is rising, so there's people, and a lot of us have on our minds that we need to make sure to do things to stay in our companies. So what can you do, and share a little bit with us of what you have done to make sure that you are needed in the company?
So the first important thing is that our company is very small.
Yeah.
We have 9 employees. We work well as a team, so we basically fit together like a puzzle, and we work. So when I wasn't able to be at work, it was really difficult for my boss to find sort of a replacement.
So you say something there about like when you were not able to stay at work, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper into that. But before going there, I would like Kieran to launch the first poll, please. And the first question that we have in the poll, it's about job security. So we want to ask the audience, how secure do you feel your profession or your job is in relation to COVID-19 impact? We now have the answers, and the people, wow. So we have 83% of the people in the audience tonight say that there is some chance that they face job loss, reduction in hours, or reduction in pay. And 17% of the audience actually responded that it doesn't apply to them. So that's pretty interesting. A lot of people is facing then some challenges these days. Thank you very much, Kieran, for that poll. And if you have any questions for the audience, please write them up for us. And if you want to ask something to Kate, we're gonna answer the questions here. So you're saying, and you mentioned that you are working in a small company, and one of the biggest reasons for which you are able to keep your job is because it's a small company. So tell me, share with us why would I want to work for a small company instead of a big company?
So I had the experience to work for small company and a large company as well. And I like actually more to work for a small company because it feels like home. It feels like I'm being in a family. We're very close to each other. And there is also, due to that, is less stressful situation because we can support each other, because we understand each other, we understand how it works, and we talk to each other regularly and quite in depth. So that's easier to communicate.
Yeah.
That's a very big advantage of working within a small company.
Wow, yeah, thank you. And for the audience, so I wanna we have another poll. This question now is related to the company size. And for the audience, do you prefer to work in a small or a large company? So we're gonna wait a little bit to get everyone responding. Okay, good. Wow, okay. So the response that we have is that 14% that like to work for small companies. So that's very interesting. So Kate, we have to convince people why it's good to work for a small company. So tell us a bit, how can people grow in a small company?
Yes, definitely. So when I started as an intern in bookkeeping. So I got more picture of what the company is doing, what are the basic procedures, what needs to be done, how are the sales made, what all we are basically ordering and all of that stuff. And I've gained this experience during the school, actually. So I was an intern and during studying my Bachelor of Accounting.
Yeah.
And during that time, I kept learning from the external accountant. And after I finished my school, I was on that level that I could go from bookkeeper to accountant straight away.
So we have this question from somebody from the audience. He's asking would you recommend an internship to all international students, and why?
Yes, I would definitely recommend to take an internship, because that gives you an insight of how everything actually works. So for me, I had basics of working in MIOB,
yeah,
which I gained during the school. And I had some basics of how are the accounting standards working, or what's the basics for it, what's how the bookkeeping is made, and how are the certain situation handled. So when I've actually joined the company and started to work there as a bookkeeper initially, it was very good for me, because when I was continuing studying, it all more blended together, and it wasn't just a theoretical for me anymore. It was everything what I've been learning. Yeah. I could actually apply to a certain situation. So I would definitely go for any type of internship which is sort of in the area what you're studying.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that advice. And we have some people clapping in the audience. That's very good. And congratulations as well, because you achieved this in a very interesting way as well. So I am going to go a little bit with something very interesting about your life. And I want to ask you how the COVID-19 situation have impacted. And if you can tell us a little bit about that year that you were working still with your company, how did that work? How did you manage?
So first of all, I am very lucky to be working for my boss, and he's been extremely supportive during the whole time since I fell sick. He's been there for me, and he actually made sure that I won't have to worry about anything except just being good, get healthy again. And then when I fell sick, I stopped working from a day to day, because I just felt that sick that I couldn't work. So it felt like I was just getting a flu, and I had like these different symptoms of a blood cancer. So I went to the afterwards when the antibiotics didn't work. She actually prescribed me other set of antibiotics and sent me for a blood test. And during the day, it was still the same day, I've got a call from hospital that I've been diagnosed with blood cancer, with leukemia. They're just finding out what type, and then I need to be hospitalized immediately.
Wow.
So I thought that it's gonna be just only like for 1 week. So I packed like small bag, just essential stuff. And I went and they've run a lot of tests, and then I ended up at ICU, intensive care unit, because I had infection on my lungs, so I couldn't breathe. So I had to be connected to ventilators and everything. So they kept getting me better and better. And once I passed this infection, they've actually got me opportunity to be in a clinical trial study. So I started clinical trial study and I started chemotherapy. Between the treatments, when I was at hospital, I was still working. I was working from home.
Yeah, you must be kidding, girl. Like, okay, keep going. Like, I admire how like you continue working. Not that why your boss love you, but yeah, keep sharing.
So, I'm a type of person who likes its job. You know?
Yeah.
So I love my job. Absolutely. I love being there. I love working there. It's awesome. And I have awesome people around me.
Yeah.
So it's been really difficult for me to not actually see the people who I'm working side by side every day, to stop seeing them immediately. And yeah, I made it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Couldn't be getting bored at home, you know?
Yeah. So I want to thank you very much for sharing that with us, because it's very personal in that you are sharing that with all the audience, and you are just a proof of strength and someone that loves its accounting job. Okay, so we have one last poll. The question is, in the past, has your professional performance been affected by personal or medical challenges? So here, the answers that we have from the audience is that 29% of the audience has actually been affected by any personal or medical challenges. I want to ask you about any advice that you can give to the community, because I know that you are advocating for social distancing these days, because you lived it, you were there, and you know how important it is. So I would like to give you the space. Do you want to share some advice, or if you want to share with the audience?
So first of all, if you can, just stay home.
Yeah.
Easy. Well, some of the people, I understand they can't stay home. Well, that's okay. But if you're going actually in public places, just wear the mask, and of course the good hygiene.
Yeah.
Just wash hands properly, and that's it.
And this is not something new, right? These were things that you have to follow. Well, and people that were close to you that have to follow every single day, right?
Yeah. So after the chemotherapy, my immunity was pretty much zero. So I've actually, every time when I left the hospital or I was coming back to hospital, I was wearing a face mask every time. My mom, she stayed with me, so she had to follow that as well, and all the people around me.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult, but I got used to it, so it was okay. I know it seems a bit weird when all of the people around you, they're wearing masks and you think they're sick, but no, you're actually just protecting all the other people.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Thank you very much for sharing. I want to ask I want to open for the audience if they have any questions that want to ask Kate. This is the time. Either if you want to type it, or even if you want to go ahead and unmute your mic and tell us.
I've got one actually. I'm interested in so if somebody is experiencing a challenge, it could be medical or personal, financial. What are some things, Katerina, that you would recommend for motivation, for how to keep going in a difficult time and still keep at it?
For me, it was a bit of exercising actually, but in a different way for me, because I was very weak. So I was at the stage when I couldn't even go 5 meters just to the bathroom. So I kept increasing the distance, and it was very nice to just go outside and relax, just look around and be actually alone as well to sort out my thoughts. Also, a bit of exercising helps, like running, or you can do some yoga, all of that.
If we have more questions, please drop them in. We're gonna answer to your questions on the LinkedIn posts, and we have in the chat the link to our YouTube channel. So please have a look on that YouTube channel. Subscribe, like the videos, and stay tuned for more of these podcasts. And I want to thank everyone for spending this time with us. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.